Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. I'm Brett. It's Wednesday, which means new comics are hitting shelves all across the world. Digital, physical, whatever. They're comic books. It's a great day. So we've got 2 trade paperback releases from Marvel. They hooked us up with these to check out and show off. Power Man and Iron Fist Civil War. So that is volume 2 of the latest Power Man and Iron Fist volume. And then we've got the event Axis, which came out a couple of years ago, that collects issues 1 through 9. 2 very different comics. One an event series, one kind of tied into an event series. Let's see what we think of each of them. I'm going to start off with Axis. Now, that was a kind of an interesting series. This collects issues 1 through 9 by Rick Remender. It's got art by Adam Kubert, Leinil, Francis Yu, Terry Dodson, Jim Cheung. Awesome art. So that's a big thing that really stuck out to me about Axis when I first read it. The art was top-notch and really, really cool. The story itself was a little bit weird. So this is the good guys become bad guys, the bad guys become good guys. The Red Skull has harnessed the power of Charles Xavier, so he's now a telepath. He's become the Red Onslaught. It's a bizarre, weird event story, and there's some ramifications to this day that I don't want to give away, even though this is quite a few years ago. So the story itself was interesting. As a big, giant event, it's a turn off your brain and just kind of, like, go with it. Straight up, like, it's the best way of describing it. The concept was interesting. It's big, giant fights, people trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Really, the art's the draw. The story is kind of, it's entertaining, but it's not one that blew me away. I think this is where Marvel was kind of doing their somewhat blah event stories that I wasn't really too impressed with. But speaking of, like, the art, as I said, is really, really good. There's some cool scenes, example here, that are worth checking out and seeing. So basically, I'm like, the story is a bunch of good guys get turned into bad guys, and they have to deal with things kind of like being flipped around. Some of the bad guys are now good guys, and the Red Skull is like manipulating everyone. So it's an interesting concept. It definitely was something new. It was something different. It didn't quite just blow me away like a lot of the classic Marvel events. So this one, if you haven't read it, maybe, I mean, it's $34.99. It's a little bit expensive on that end. 9 issues. You know, it's a little bit pricey for what you get. So beyond the covers, there are some variants in here, but not like pages for the variants. The variants are at the end, are kind of just on a page. Some of them have a page, but not really, not a ton. And you know, that's about it for extras. There's not much else there. You know, there are some things that help catch up as to what's been going on. There's like a recap page in the beginning that's somewhat helpful. But overall, Axis was not the greatest. Let's go with that. But rather entertaining. This Power Man and Iron Fist, which is tied into the recent Civil War II event. This collects Power Man and Iron Fist 6 through 9, plus the Sweet Christmas Annual, which wasn't out that long ago. It's by David Walker, David Walker, Flaviano, Sanford, Greene, Scott Hepburn, John Rauch, and Matt Millia. You know, Danny Rand and Luke Cage back together, doing their thing, as dysfunctional as that thing is. But then there's, you know, Civil War II going on. A lot of Civil War II was supposed to be about preemptive crime prevention, precogs. Sound familiar? There's stories about this that have gone back like decades. But that does apply to Luke Cage and Danny Rand. Something kind of comes across their thing where Captain Marvel and her crew need to go and confront Luke Cage and Danny Rand. Now, part of it is it's interesting in that we get to see the story from their perspective, something you don't really see if you've read the main series. So that's kind of cool. The interaction, I think, between the two are absolutely fantastic. David Walker has a great sense of humor and a solid take on the characters. And the art is interesting. It doesn't quite blow me away. There's some that's really cool and stylish. Some of it's kind of not quite my thing. It's really going to be up to you, the reader, as to what you think about the art itself. But the story, it's entertaining. It's funny. I think David Walker's just got this great sense of beats and going from like a serious conversation, throwing something really funny in it that kind of takes you out of things, and then going back to that serious conversation. The story itself, when it kind of ties into Civil War II, is decent. It does bring in perspective of Luke Cage and Iron Fist. It also throws in perspective of like all the crap that's been going on before the original Civil War. I'm totally blanking on the one where Norman Osborn kind of took over. So they kind of like basically reflect on all the crap that's been going on in their lives, and that's kind of neat. Dark Reign, that's what I'm trying to think of. So you see things like Sentry kind of flying through and going through some old school stuff. So it's interesting in that you can see them basically traumatized from all the crap going on before, and seeing this and being like, not again, we don't want to deal with this. So in all that, it's really good, and at the same time, it ties in what's going on in Power Man and Iron Fist at the same time. There is a Christmas special in here. The Christmas special has them fighting Krampus. Son of Satan shows up. It's entertaining, it's funny, it's humorous, and I think that's the big thing is Power Man and Iron Fist under David Walker doesn't quite take itself too seriously, which is really, really good. Show off some of the art as I described before. The art is kind of like hit and miss for me. There's some stuff like that, which I think is really good. I like the art, I like the art style, and then, you know, something like this I really like as well. I enjoy that look. But then there is... I just like had it in my hand. I should have just gone with that and being like, here's an example I don't like. Whereas this isn't, I don't think, quite as solid. It's decent. It's just slightly different enough. And I think that's what's interesting is, even though there's a whole bunch of different artists, the art styles are still fairly consistent. You can kind of see them going together. But they're just different enough to make you notice, and that type of thing is kind of driving me nuts a little bit. So overall, it's not bad. If you are interested in Iron Fist, if you're interested in Luke Cage, I mean, overall, I would recommend the series. I think it's a fantastic series, really entertaining, really funny. This is probably not the best volume to start from. You should really start from Volume 1. But if you dove into Civil War II, you want to see what these characters' perspective is and what they were doing during all of that, it's well worth checking out. There's some great humor, it's entertaining, it's fun. So we've got 2 books from Marvel out today. It's one of the numerous trade paperbacks they've got hitting store shelves. Thank you, Marvel, for the hookup. If you're interested in these, we've got links below where you can go and find your local comic book shop. Go do that. It'll be out in bookstores in like 2 weeks from now. Marvel's got a little bit of delay on that, and we've got links up beneath this where you can get that. So if you don't have a local comic book shop near you, you can go get it online. We have a comic book shop that you can order from online, or you can get it from another link as well. Now, those will be affiliate links, so we do get like a small percentage of that, but by doing that, you help support our site. Thank you very much. So, until next time, if you're interested in comic books and you're watching this, you're probably like these characters or Marvel or something of the sort, you should check us out at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. So until next time, make my Marvel and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.